I appreciate you guys watching another episode of JO Fit TV, where I help you get fit, healthy, and do it fast. Today's topic is all about the Brassica family. Very likely that your parents or even grandparents told you to eat your green vegetables. That meant broccoli, Brussels sprouts, etc., etc. My mom always said,
make sure you eat them collard greens, boy. Don't waste that food.
Either way, somebody was telling you to eat these green vegetables. Likely as a kid, you may not have liked them.
Ew!
But those vegetables are proven to have significant health improving benefits. Let's talk about why. The first thing that we need to know is that this and this and this and this and this and this and this all come from the same family. That family is the Brassica family. Now, brassicas are not necessarily just green vegetables. There's a lot of other fruits and even plants that are not edible that are in the Brassica family, like moringa and some papayas. But the Brassica family, which is cruciferous vegetables like these, cruciferous means they come from the cabbage family, they're all related, those compounds have significant health benefits. In a previous video about breaking fasts, I talked about the benefits of sulphurophane containing compounds like broccoli sprouts and why I use those to break a fast. So let me give you guys a quick rerun if you hadn't watched that video on why this is so healthy. Broccoli sprouts are basically sprouted seeds of the broccoli plant. Now what we know is that in nature, the seeds and sprouts of these brassica plants have the most nutritional benefits. The reason why is because they contain compounds, one being glucoraphanin, the other sulforaphane, and an enzyme called myrosinase that basically ward off the bites or the eating of the plant by insects at a young age. As the plant gets bigger and older, it loses some of its potency because obviously it's bigger and older. It survived. So what we look at in these plants, these small plants like Brussels sprouts, broccoli sprouts, etc., is that they have these compounds. So simply, an insect like a moth will fly onto the broccoli sprouts, bite into them. When they bite into them, the glucoraphanin will be present. And the biting and the chewing of the actual plant causes the release of the enzyme called myrosinase. Now, myrosinase serves to convert the glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. So the sulforaphane becomes aggressive in the insect's mouth and makes the insect back up and say, whoa, 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 what am I eating? And basically wards the insect off from eating that particular plant. Well, it just so happens that that same compound that is toxic to insects is extremely beneficial for us to consume and eat. And just like in insects, when we chomp down on those vegetables, it releases the myrosinase enzyme and converts the glucoraphanin into the active form sulforaphane. One of the big problems with brassica vegetables is that when we overcook or cook at too high of a temperature those brassicas, they lose their myrosinase. They lose the enzyme. The glucoraphanin and sulforaphane is still there, but the myrosinase is being depleted. So what we have to do is figure out a way to get the myrosinase in our diet. This is one of the primary reasons why you see a lot of people who are raw vegans telling you that you have to eat these vegetables raw in order to get the benefits. And they are right to an extent. What we know is that these plants can be heated to a very high level and still maintain the glucoraphanin and sulforaphane content. So, as long as we eat a small amount or a moderate amount of raw brassica vegetables that contain the myrosinase enzyme, then we can still activate all of the glucoraphanin that is in those cooked plants. So no, you don't have to eat all of your broccoli raw, but a simple solution would be to eat a lot of cooked broccoli and then have a little bit of radish on your salad on the side. That's a way that you can increase the sulforaphane content of the super boiled broccoli with cheese that you just ate. In my video about broccoli sprouts, I talk about a process of heating or warming those sprouts. Now in that situation, we're not heating them to boiling. What you're going to simply do, as the research states, is put those broccoli sprouts into a pot of about 70 Celsius water. And when you do that, you leave them there for about 10 minutes. Just by doing that process, you increase the potential sulforaphane that can be developed in those sprouts, so that when you finish doing that and you chew them up on your salad, or you grind them up or blend them up in a drink like I do and knock it back, then you have even more sulforaphane content in those plants. The other benefit of the 70 Celsius bath is that very many of the organisms that grow on sprouts that people get scared of are killed off at that temperature. Several years ago, we had a big crisis where a lot of restaurants and stores were backing up on selling or serving sprouts because people were talking about E. coli. Well, guess what? E. coli and salmonella are mostly knocked down at about 70 Celsius. So not only do you make those sprouts safer to eat, but you also make them more nutritious by going through that process. So I know what you're thinking. You're going, hey, I don't want to just eat broccoli and broccoli sprouts every single day. Well, you don't have to eat broccoli and broccoli sprouts every single day. There are so many brassica vegetables I bet you didn't even realize. So brassicas come from the mustard oil family, and that family is also a cruciferous family that created things like the common green cabbage. So any cabbage that's in the cabbage family, along with green cabbage, red cabbage, Savoy cabbage, Napa cabbage, bok choy, all of those things are brassicas, and all of those things are going to have sulforaphane content. This includes things like broccoli, cauliflower, things like broccolini, or broccoli rabe that have small broccoli-like heads on them. As I talked about before, my mom always wanted me to eat my greens. Well, all greens that we consider Southern style greens is a Southern style dish in America, like collard greens, turnip greens, and mustard greens. Oh wait, that mustard thing again. They are all brassica family foods.
They're hella good for you.
So not only are the mustard greens good for you, so mustard, collard, turnip greens, but if they have bulbs like turnips do, right here, those turnips are brassica vegetables. They're great. Not only are turnips great, but rutabagas are also a brassica, and they also have great health benefits. We also have red radishes, white radishes, or white mustard, horseradish, wasabi, etc. All those things are in the radish family, which is part of the brassica family, and they all have myrosinase activity that can help boost up the ability of those other vegetables, or can be eaten alone and are extremely healthy. These microgreens like this, arugula, things like watercress, pretty much the whole family of bitter, peppery greens, most of those that you're going to find in the grocery store occur naturally from the brassica family. There's so many other plants that I can mention here, like the Chinese gailan, or many others that have these same health benefits, and that you should be eating multiple servings of per day if you can. Now, I'm going to scroll a long list of these benefits, so if you want to slow this video down and catch all that, go ahead. But I just want to make sure and confirm for you guys that the benefits are actually there, and I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. If you guys want free tips, strategies, advice, or want to watch more videos, just go ahead and subscribe, or come check me out on Instagram at JOFitTV. If you want advice that's more in depth, you want consultation, give me a call, give me an email. My contact is in the drop down box. Go ahead and make sure you eat those brassica vegetables. Even if you don't like them, figure out a way to get them into your diet, and you're going to live a healthier and better life. I appreciate you guys watching JOFitTV, where I help you get fit, healthy, and do it fast.